Hi, the following episode of the Astrology of the Week Ahead was taped before I knew the election results in the United States of America. So if things sound aggressively positive given the situation, that's why. I needed to get ahead of the game so that our team could go on winter break and things could happen in an orderly fashion. And this is what happens sometimes. So I hope that the astrology still lands in a really helpful way. I just don't want you to ever think that I don't take an incoming fascist leader seriously. I take the situation that we're in exceptionally seriously. I think it's going to require all of us to do everything we can in every single moment that we can do it. And I'm here with you. We are in community together. And I just didn't want to have you thinking like, wow, is this so spiritually bypassy? And has Chani totally lost the plot? I haven't. I'm with you. And in the new year, we're going to be doing episodes much closer to the time we actually air them. But until then, please enjoy and see how the astrology lands as I'm talking about it without knowing the type of world we're moving into. I hope you enjoy the episode. I want you to send the invite. I want you to call your bestie. I want you to reply to the text. I want you to go to the party. This is the week that you are going to get lucky. Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast. I'm your host and your astro bestie, Chani Nicholas, and I'm here to tell you that this is the week to say yes. This is the week that Venus, planet of social goodness and cohesion and sweetness and cuteness and fashion and beauty and art and love, makes a trine with Jupiter, planet of abundance and expansion and wisdom and relaxation and good things. And actually, both Venus and Jupiter, I like to say, are planets of relaxation because when we're feeling good, we open up, we exhale, we relax, we feel like, yeah, I can do this. Yes, I can be here. If I just allow myself to be present, everything has a greater chance of working out. And I'm also, oddly, more attractive to other people and probably able to appreciate more things in my life, more people in my life, more situations in my life. When Venus and Jupiter align in situations like this, when they come into this flowing aspect with each other, which is not often, if we're lucky, it's a couple times a year, we want to say yes. We want to know what we're saying yes to. And we want to reserve those yeses for the things that feel mutually beneficial, right? We don't want to say yes to everything, obviously. But because Venus is in Aquarius right now, and because Jupiter is in Gemini right now, both air signs, so when two things are in the same elemental sign, they're going to be in good relationship with each other. They understand each other. They get each other. Things can flow. That's why it's said that if you're a Gemini, you should date an Aquarius or a Libra or whatever, because those signs are in harmonious relationships with each other. So when the two planets, Venus and Jupiter, known for doing good, love, connection, beauty, abundance, opportunity, and expansion, come into a flowing relationship with each other, we know, we take note, and we show up accordingly. Now, because they're both in air signs, this is signaling a moment that's good for the flow of information. We are also just coming off of a full moon in Gemini. If you're listening to this on Sunday, the full moon in Gemini is here, it's near, it's nigh, it's happening. The full moon occurred on Sunday, the 15th of December. So this podcast is for the week of the 16th, but because the full moon just occurred, we're just coming from that place. So the full moon is very much surrounding the beginning of this week. So we might be moving into this week feeling like, wow, overwhelmed, I'm full. And also, not to be missed, Mercury just stationed direct, the ruler of Gemini and everything in it, including Jupiter. So there's a turning of situations. There's a revealing of a piece of information. There's some kind of data that gets brought back into the atmosphere. We get connected with the things we need to know. Therefore, Jupiter is in a slightly better situation. Therefore, Jupiter can do a little bit more good. Therefore, Venus and Jupiter making this configuration is just like an extra special moment that happens right before the solstice. Now, the solstice, the sun moving from Sagittarius to Capricorn, is, of course, in the northern hemisphere, the shortest day and the longest night. But from here on out, we move into longer and longer and longer days. So what we do with the solstice matters. And I just want to say that the Venus-Jupiter connection, the Venus-Jupiter trine happening right before the solstice bodes really well for this shift. Now, Venus and Jupiter are making a trine from signs that don't see Capricorn. So it's a different kind of thing in our chart. But the fact of the matter, the flow of the week is that we go from this really beautiful, benefic setup, this beneficial kind of moment for all of us, for the collective, and for social cohesion. I just think because it's happening in air signs, it's great for texts and letters and newsletters and announcements and gatherings and having fantastic conversations that help to spur more relationship building and community building and coalition building. And because Venus is in Aquarius, it's very concerned with the group. And because Jupiter is in Gemini, it's very curious. And so it is just really good conversational astrology. So it's good to be out chitter-chattering and being about and being with the people that you feel you're aligned with. Now, this happens 2 days before the solstice. So the Venus-Jupiter trine happens on the 19th of December. And then on the 22nd, the sun moves into Capricorn. This is the solstice. In the northern hemisphere, we can think of this as a time to plant a seed of intention. Why? Because it's kind of like a new moon. It is a moment where the sun will grow steadily in light. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's still an energetic shift. Of course, it's the longest day and the shortest night, and then the days will close. But because the solstice happens so close to the end of the Gregorian calendar, we can think of this moment as a really good time to pause and reflect on the intentions that we want to set for the new year. And we can only do that by reflecting on what worked well for us in this past year and what didn't. What didn't work? What do we not want to bring with us? What is not going to be carried forward? What are we not going to repeat? What is like, no, it wasn't. I'm not going to. Okay, I'm going to make a different plan. So what are you wanting to bring forward with you into 2025? What are you wanting to leave in 2024? The solstice is a beautiful time to do this kind of work, no matter what hemisphere you are in, because it aligns so closely with the end of the Gregorian calendar, which has no astrological meaning whatsoever. It is not a calendar that's based on any kind of like ancient tradition of time. However, we all buy into it, right? We all are like, oh, it's the end of the year, beginning of a new year. For me, it's more like, oh, it's the solstice. This is the time to plant a seed of intention, to really think about what I want to do. And every year we write down our intentions for the year and we put it on our altar, and it kind of serves as a guiding light for the rest of the year. So you can do that if you want with the solstice. In the Chani app, we have a full ritual for you. We have journal prompts. We have a guided meditation. We got the whole thing. So check out what we've got in terms of the weekly package that we put together for you each and every week. Okay, that is the astrology. Actually, I missed one thing. On the 18th, on Wednesday, the sun makes a square with Neptune. It's a good day to check out early. It's a good day to take a nap. It's a good day to just let your energy roam around and to not try to get anywhere specific if and when and where possible. If you do have to be really on the ball and make a lot of decisions, double, triple check them, because there's just like a little level of confusion in the air. Again, we're coming off of a full moon in the beginning of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday might be like a little less concentrated in terms of our ability to focus. And by the time we get to the 19th, we've got this glorious Venus trine Jupiter. So plan on doing something that is somewhat celebratory and is, again, going to be able to gather a group of people or talk to a group of people or get a message out or say something, do something that engenders goodwill and hope and sweetness and abundance. Think about mutual aid. Think about how we can really foster a very strong and durable and resilient community. Speaking of which, it is the Chaniversary on December 19th. It has been 4 years of creating an app, of bringing it to you, of you telling us how it works for you, of us being in this relationship. And we are, as a full, huge, big company, so incredibly grateful for you. And to show our gratitude and appreciation, please look out on our socials, in our newsletter, in your inbox, on the app, because on the 19th, we have a very special gift for you to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot believe it's been 4 years. Mind-blowing, wild. I will never get over it. All right. I want to answer one of your questions. So every week, I'm going to do a little Ask Me Anything, and I will try my best to answer. This question is one that I do get a lot. It is, how can I tell when something really big is going to happen to me? What I would do if I were you is I would go to the transit section of the Chani app and I would check to see what your long-term transits are, especially when a planet that we might call an outer planet. So I'm thinking like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto is making contact with ascendant, descendant, midheaven, IC, or your sun, your moon, your Venus, your Mercury, your Mars, especially. Even your Jupiter and your Saturn, of course, those are very important too. And even like outer planet to outer planet, like a Pluto to a Pluto. Those are really important things. But I always think that like when a big, huge planet, a planet that takes a long time to do something, makes contact with the faster moving planets, it's something that you feel, or with a point, like especially when something is connected to your ascendant or the planet that rules your ascendant. So knowing the planet that rules your ascendant has so many huge, big, important blessings, because the planet that rules your ascendant is the planet that you should look to in terms of understanding the direction that your life needs to go in. It is one of the keys. And you can do that in the Chani app by looking at your planets, and one of them will be the ruler of your ascendant, and it will say so. So if you look in terms of your sun, your moon, your Mercury, your Venus, your Mars, your Jupiter, your Saturn, those are the only rulers that we use in the Chani app. So one of those will be the ruler. If there's a transit to that planet that steers the direction of your life, it's generally going to be a moment where the course of your life will shift somewhat, like an important shift, like a shift that needed to happen, is kind of fated. That, and if an eclipse is happening close to one of your personal planets, again, your ascendant, your midheaven, those are points, obviously, sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, those planets, if they're getting connected to an eclipse, that's usually a really big deal. I use like a 3-degree orb for that. Even your Jupiter, your Saturn, even the outer planets, but especially the, what we call maybe like inner planets or the quicker moving planets in your chart. those ones being connected to an eclipse are going to be pretty potent and powerful. Or if the south node or north node is going over one of your planets, or if the transiting south node or north node is going through your first house or 10th house or 4th house or 7th house. Things that happen in your first, 4th, 7th, and 10th houses are going to be really pivotal because those are the kind of like foundational parts of your chart. So you'll most likely notice transits that happen there because they're quite loud. They're quite bombastic. They're quite obvious in some way because first house is you, 4th house is home and family, 7th house is committed partnerships, 10th house is career. And these are the anchor points of the chart. So that's a good place to start. Look under long-term transits in the Chani app. See if any outer planet is making an aspect to one of your more inner planets, if you will, or one of the points in your chart. See if an eclipse is happening near any of the points in your chart or any of the more personal planets, or see if the north or south node, and you can do this by reading your horoscope for the north and south node in the Chani app or on Chani.com. See if it's going through the first or 7th house. They happen together, or the 10th or the 4th house. I think those are kind of like bigger themes that are pretty easy to connect with. And especially if you've got the Chani app, we will be working with those themes in both the transit section and also in terms of the horoscopes. Okay, y'all, listen to your reading this week because I talk extensively about where Venus and Jupiter are right now and how to make the most of this gorgeous moment of luck and prosperity and abundance and connection. We are our greatest source of abundance, each other, our relationships. And this kind of setup exemplifies that. Also, happy solstice. What a gorgeous week to have both a Venus-Jupiter trine and a solstice at the same time. I hope this bodes exceptionally well for all of us. I am sending you so many solstice Venus-Jupiter blessings. Lots of love. Come back next week. We'll talk about the very important, influential Jupiter-Saturn square. More on that then. It's all about choice and choosing one lane and staying in it and going the course. Okay, bye for now.